Good evening, and welcome to your AI Daily Press evening podcast for April 27th, 2025. Tonight, we're covering several developing stories from around the world. Firstly, we have an update on the conflict in Ukraine, where Russian President Vladimir Putin has claimed that his country's military has regained control of the Kursk region. However, Ukraine disputes this claim, stating that operations in the area continue and their forces remain active. Notably, Russia has acknowledged the involvement of North Korean troops in the conflict, which raises questions about the extent of cooperation between the two nations. In other news, California has surpassed Japan to become the world's fourth largest economy, with a nominal GDP of $3.1 trillion. This shift reflects the growing influence of regional economies within larger nations. We're also following reports of a suspected chemical blast at an Iranian port, as well as ongoing tensions in the region, including China's seizure of a disputed reef near a key Philippine outpost. Additionally, we note the recent return of Ainu people's remains from Britain to Japan, marking an important step towards reconciliation and cultural preservation. Our thoughts are with those affected by the tragic incident in Vancouver, where several were killed after a driver plowed into a festival crowd. Finally, we're keeping a close eye on the situation in the Kursk region, where the international community is calling for a peaceful resolution to the conflict. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has offered Ukraine the EU's backing in any negotiations for ending the war with Russia. That's all for this evening. We'll continue to provide updates and analysis on these stories as more information becomes available. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, I'm Walter, and that's the way it is. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
Thank you, Walter. Firstly, tensions are rising in the South China Sea as a dispute over territorial claims continues to escalate. The United States has announced its intention to increase its military presence in the region, citing concerns over freedom of navigation and national security. Secondly, a recent judgment in the UK has sparked a heated debate about the rights of trans women. The decision has been met with widespread criticism from the trans community, who argue that it will embolden vigilantes and lead to increased harassment and violence against trans individuals. We've spoken to several experts and advocates who emphasize the importance of prioritizing fairness, balance, and empathy in this complex and deeply personal issue. Thirdly, world leaders have gathered in Rome for the funeral of Pope Francis, who passed away on Easter Monday after a bout of ill health. The ceremony was attended by dignitaries from around the globe, including U.S. President Donald Trump, French President Emmanuel Macron, and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Amidst the solemnity of the occasion, there were also moments of diplomatic significance, including a meeting between President Zelensky and President Trump, which has sparked speculation about potential discussions on the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. These are just a few of the major stories we're following tonight. We'll continue to bring you updates and insights as they develop. Thank you for joining us on this evening's edition of the AI Daily Press. Until next time, good night and stay informed. Now, for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. I'm your host, Louis. Tonight we'll be summarizing the key points from our recent articles. Firstly, we discussed the Indian market's reaction to the current economic climate, highlighting the potential opportunities and risks for investors. We also touched on the global implications of trade tensions, particularly between the U.S. and China, and how these developments are affecting economies worldwide. In another article, we delved into the world of high-yield stocks, exploring their potential benefits and pitfalls. We examined the DNP Select Income Fund, which has been outperforming the S&P 500, and discussed the importance of understanding credit risks, interest rate risks, and leverage risks when investing in such funds. Our advice to investors remains consistent. Approach high-yield investments with caution, conduct thorough research, and ensure that your investment decisions align with your overall financial goals and risk tolerance. As we always say, where do you stay your money Monday? The answer depends on your strategy and risk appetite. In conclusion, tonight's podcast summary has highlighted the need for investors to remain informed and vigilant in the face of market uncertainties. We'll continue to bring you insightful analysis and updates on the world of finance. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and always keep your investments in perspective. Good luck with your investments, and we look forward to bringing you more expert analysis in our future edition. This is Lewis, signing off for AI Daily Press. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Lewis. Firstly, we looked at the remarkable progress being made in space travel, with NASA's Orion capsule undergoing a critical test that demonstrates its resilience and capabilities in extreme conditions. This brings us closer to realizing the ambitious goals of the Artemis mission, aiming to establish a sustainable human presence on the moon by the end of this decade. Secondly, we delved into the world of materials science, where researchers at ETH Zurich made a groundbreaking discovery in multiferroic materials. They successfully demonstrated reversible control over the distribution of chemical inhomogeneities in these substances, which could lead to improved performance and efficiency in various applications, from energy and aerospace to biomedicine and consumer electronics. Lastly, we touched on the incredible potential of these advancements, emphasizing the importance of continued investment in scientific research and the need for critical thinking and skepticism as we explore the unknown. We also highlighted the connections between different scientific fields and the significance of discussing the scientific method and evidence-based thinking. These stories remind us of humanity's innate curiosity and drive to explore, innovate, and push the boundaries of knowledge and understanding. As we continue on this extraordinary journey, we must approach it with humility, awe, and a deep appreciation for the complexities and mysteries of our cosmos. That's all for tonight's summary. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. We'll be back soon with more in-depth analysis and insightful discussions on the latest developments in science, technology, and space exploration. Until next time, good night, and let's continue to explore the wonders of our universe together. Now, for the latest in sports, here's Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. Today, we're summarizing the latest developments in the realm of baseball and football. In baseball, the Arizona Diamondbacks are gearing up for a challenging Eastern road trip, facing off against the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies. The team's right-handed pitcher Brandon Pfaadt has been a highlight, and the potential return of all-star second baseman Ketel Marte from the injured list could be a significant boost. In football, the Buffalo Bills have made some savvy moves in the draft, addressing their weaknesses and building on their strengths. The selection of defensive back Jordan Hancock and tight end Jackson Hawes are notable picks, and experts are predicting a deep playoff run for the team. We also took a look at the Alabama Crimson Tide's latest developments, with updates on their series against the Atlanta Braves and their upcoming road trip. As we delve into the drama of athletic competition, it's clear that these teams are gearing up for pivotal matchups. The combination of challenging opponents and strategic moves makes for an intriguing storyline to follow. Tell it like it is. These games represent an opportunity for the teams to prove themselves against the best in the league. That's all for now. This is Howard Closewell speaking, reminding you to now for the latest in travel and human interest. Here is Charles Curel.
Thank you, Howard. Firstly, we've been following developments on food prices in the U.S. Recent news indicates a welcome drop in egg prices, which is expected to bring relief to many American households. This decrease is not just an economic indicator, but also a testament to the resilience of American farmers and producers who work tirelessly behind the scenes. In other news, our attention turns to environmental concerns and policy updates. However, this evening's articles didn't delve into these areas directly. Instead, We touched on the importance of appreciating the people and places that make our food system work, highlighting the dignity of ordinary work in bringing produce from farms to our tables. Lastly, on a somber note, we reported on the tragic murder of best-selling German novelist Alexandra Flick, whose body was found on her houseboat in Hamburg. As the investigation continues, we remember her for her contribution to the literary world, leaving behind a legacy of thought-provoking and entertaining novels that tackled complex social topics with humor and sensitivity. These stories remind us of the interconnectedness of our world, from economic fluctuations affecting our daily lives to the profound impact individuals can have through their work. As we conclude this evening's podcast, let's take a moment to appreciate the beauty of everyday life and the people who make it meaningful. Thank you for joining me on the AIDailyPress Evening Podcast. Until next time, good night. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. First up, we took a deep dive into the allegations against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, who's facing serious charges including sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. We broke down the complex story, emphasizing the importance of keeping an open mind as the trial approaches. Next, we shifted gears to the world of sports, where we met Ben Simmons, the Australian basketball star making headlines with his impressive skills on the court. And finally, we rocked out with The Doors, one of the most iconic bands in history, who have returned to the charts with a new album, Strange Days, a work in progress. This limited edition vinyl release has debuted at number 1 on Billboard's vinyl albums list and is a must-have for any music fan. Throughout these stories, we're seeing themes of power, privilege, and the evolving landscape of the entertainment industry. We'll be exploring these topics further in tonight's discussion. So, join us as we dive into the world of celebrity news and beyond. Stay informed, stay engaged, and always keep it real. Let's get started. Now, for the latest in nature and environment, here is David Attenacher.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, a recent breakthrough in medical research has led to a significant advancement in our understanding of diseases, but this wasn't the focus of our top story tonight. Instead, we dove into the world of marine conservation, where the Trump administration's decision to open up the Pacific Island Heritage Monument to commercial fishing has sparked widespread concern among environmentalists and indigenous communities. This move could have devastating consequences for marine biodiversity and the livelihoods of those who depend on these ecosystems. Next, we examined the alarming decline of amphibians worldwide, including our beloved frogs. The main culprits behind this die-off are disease, climate change, and habitat destruction, with the fungal infection chytridiomycosis being a major contributor to the loss of hundreds of species. As we approach the 17th annual Save the Frogs Day on April 28th, it's essential that we raise awareness about the importance of amphibians in maintaining ecosystem balance and take action to protect them. While these stories may seem disheartening, they also serve as a call to action for us to prioritize the long-term health of our oceans and ecosystems. By making informed choices and supporting conservation efforts, we can work towards preserving the delicate balance of nature and ensuring a sustainable future for all. That's all for tonight's episode. Thank you for tuning into the AIDailyPress Evening Podcast. We'll continue to bring you updates on these stories and more as they unfold. Until next time, stay informed, stay curious, and let's work together to make a positive impact on our planet. This is David, signing off. And that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David Attenacher for AIDailyPress, the world's most unbiased news source.